Good morning, students. In the previous lecture, I have explained about the different type of executives. And today's lecture, I will explain the executive form which is following by the Indian government. And that is parliamentary executive form. And I will discuss all the points related with Indian parliamentary executive form. Indian constitution has adopted parliamentary executive for India. And now in this we consider president, vice president and our permanent executive, that is bureaucracy. But before I'll explain these things, the question arises why India adopted parliamentary executive form. The makers of the Indian Constitution wanted a government that would have a strong executive branch, but at the same time, enough safeguards should be there to check against the personality cult. In the parliamentary form, there are many mechanisms that ensures that the executive will be answerable to and controlled by the legislature or people's representative. So, the constitution adopted the parliamentary system of executive for the government both at the national level and at the state level. That's why India adopted this type of executive. According to this system, there is a president who is the formal head of the state of India and the prime minister and the council of ministers which run the government at the national level. At the state level, the executive comprises the governor and the chief minister and council of ministers are the part of executive. President is the part of executive branch. The Constitution of India vests the executive power of the Union formally in the President. In reality, the President exercises these powers through the Council of Ministers, headed by the Prime Minister. The President is elected for a period of 5 years, but there is no direct election by the people for the office of President. The President is elected indirectly. This means that the President is elected not by the ordinary citizen but the elected MLAs and MPs. This election takes place in accordance with the principle of proportional representation with a single transferable vote system. All of you are quite familiar with this process and you have studied this topic in your last class also. So the of India is the head of the executive. He is also the head of the state and first citizen of country. And he exercise many powers: first executive, military and diplomatic powers, legislative powers, judicial powers, emergency powers. All these powers, you are quite familiar with all these powers. And now Ramnath Kovind is carrying President of India's post nowadays. Along with the other powers, President also has discretionary powers, which means during the use of power, President can also take the decision according to his or her presence of mind to comfort the situation. There are at least three situations where the president can exercise the power using his or her own discretion. In the first place, we have already noted that the president can send back the advice given by the Council of Ministers and ask the Council to reconsider the decision. In doing this, the President acts on his or her own discretion. When the President thinks that the advice has certain flaws or illegal problem or that it is not in the best interest of the country, the President can ask the Council to reconsider the decision. This is the first discretionary power. Secondly, the President also has a veto power by which he can withhold or refuse to give assent to bill, and remind this only other than money bill passed by the parliament. Every bill passed by the parliament goes to the president, for this assent before it become a law. The president can send the bill back to the parliament asking it to reconsider the bill. This veto power is limited because if the parliament passes the same bill again and send it back to the president, then the president has to give assent to that bill. Thirdly, the third kind of discussion arises more out of political circumstances. Formally, the president appoints the prime ministers. Normally, in the normal circumstances, as you know, the leader of majority party, president is bound to appoint that leader as a prime minister. But imagine a situation when after an election no leader has a clear majority in the Lok Sabha. Imagine further that after attempts to forge alliances, two or three leaders are claiming that for the post of Prime Minister, they have the support of the majority in the House. Now, the President has to decide whom to appoint as the Prime Minister. In such a situation, the President has to use his own discretion in judging who really may have the support of the majority or who can actually form and run the government. All these are discretionary powers used by time to time by the different presidents of India. For detailed study, you can read the book. If you have or any query, you can ask me. I hope all the points are clear to you. Thank you and have a nice day.